Well, hello. Cindy Lee here, your host. And actually, today I'm broadcasting from National Bucket List Day. So, today is Aviation Maintenance Technician Day and National Road Trip Day. We'll see you in a minute. Rock and roll. Woo!
Let's do this.
Top Gun, baby. Top Gun movie night where you will not be.
Nope, I'm gonna miss it this year.
But we're going to get you out here, my friend. We're going to get you out here.
I have a good excuse though, Cindy. I really do. I think my hall pass will buy me out of this one because my youngest son will be graduating from Paris Island on the 7th. So I have
Congratulations.
to arrange that, schedule that, get that all in place. We're going to go spend a couple days over there. We rented a house right off the base so that we can be there for all the events. And so we're super excited about that, super proud of him. And he's in day 3 of the Crucible right now as we speak.
Wow.
He's going through it right now. So he's almost done.
Very
almost
good.
done. Yeah.
So let's actually start with National Road Trip Day. Remember last year, you were at Coney Island last year, right?
Yeah, I was. I was in New York City at this time last year. That's perfect. Yep. We were hanging out at Coney Island with you. So it worked out perfect for Road Trip Day.
So how are you going to celebrate Road Trip Day today?
I'm not. I have so many meetings back to back. I'm telling you, Cindy, I took a training with a professional coach, a speaker, sales coach, and I took a very expensive training. I invested in myself and I invested in my future. And I'm already pretty confident speaker. I already noticed the ums and the likes, and I'm pretty good at getting my message clearly and succinctly across. But this person helped me tweak the background. So now I'm using the green screen and I got the cool, really, it looks like I'm sitting in a beautiful office somewhere, right? Worked with me on my delivery, my springboard story, my, tying in the personal reasons and my expertise. And I'm telling you, I have banked 10 times what I paid for that training in less than 2 months. Literally 10 times the amount. I had not sold. I've been selling some of my trainings, but my big ticket training items, I hadn't sold one since the beginning of the year. I've sold 3 in the last month, and I'm talking $5,000 a piece. So unbelievable when you invest in yourself and you just take a minute to, really let somebody else speak into you. It changed the game for me. So this summer, I'm working. I am banking it right now because it's working and it's coming and things are really, really changing for me. I've been speaking at a lot of organizations that aren't in my local community, going a little further towards Atlanta. And
nice.
Problem being that everybody knows me in my local community and I've been giving it away for free for so long. You tell them it's going to be $5,000. They look at you like you got 4 eyes, right? So but you go somewhere else that they've looked you up online and they've seen you're an author and they see you have all this content and you're all over the place with social media and people talking about how great you are. Now you're a rock star. Now you pull up in the limo and they're throwing money at you, So yes. It's amazing if you're in a place where you feel you can't earn what you're worth or you can't ask people to pay you what you're worth. Move places. Remember this. Even Jesus couldn't heal anybody in Bethlehem. Because he was just Joseph and Mary's kid, he wasn't the savior of the world, and he couldn't shrug off that reputation. They probably knew him for like writing graffiti on cisterns and shaving somebody's camel, getting in trouble as a kid, and that's all they gave him credit for. But when he went somewhere else and his reputation preceded him, he was able to really, really affect people's lives. So remember that when you're looking at what you're charging and how much you're getting paid and how people, they kind of recoil if you tell them a large number because they don't think you're worth that.
Yeah,
Somebody
you don't
knew.
want to leave any money on the table, definitely. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that a little bit because I'm going to have you back on my entrepreneur podcast and my author podcast,
Yep.
probably around June or July, whatever works for you. But let's get back to National Road Trip Day. What are some of the experiences that you have had, let's say, in the last couple of years?
I'll tell you, my wife and I went to New York last year, and on the way home, we drove the Blue Ridge Parkway the whole way home. So you can, go up 95 or you can go up 75 and cut through the mountains. But the Blue Ridge Parkway is so cool. We had so much fun. You're basically driving through farms and people's backyards. And it's a national parkway that goes through the most gorgeous parts of the eastern side of the United States. And quite frankly, we were going around, I think it's Knoxville, some big city during rush hour. And I was just imagining that if we were on the interstate, we would have been stop and go. And we were blazing down this two-lane road, this paved two-lane road in the middle of nowhere, right around Knoxville at rush hour when there was, cars everywhere on the interstate and there's nobody on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So it was awesome to just experience that. I actually had my phone up on the dashboard and I hit the camera and I recorded 20 minutes of just driving through the curves and the turns and accelerating. And it was really, really fun. Definitely the road trip opportunities on the East Coast are there's so many of them. I was stationed at Jacksonville, North Carolina when I was in the Marine Corps. And that's very close to the coast. And it's actually on the coast. And getting from I-95 over to there could you could take 20 different routes to do that. You could, leave I-95 a little earlier and come up from the southern end. But you could go through the outer islands, outer banks in North Carolina and all that. And just, it's so beautiful. And you're taking ferry boats to get from one island to the other. And just the experience in and of itself was priceless. My very best friend and I in the whole world, we took that trip from Florida and we were driving up to upstate New York. And we did the whole tourist thing the whole way. And it was such a great memory to have. And since he's passed in 2016, that's been something that I've always been able to go back and remember and just have those great feelings and those great emotions when we were there and having such a great time doing that. So the road trip thing is awesome. I love riding in the car. I love driving. And I love packing everything in a cooler and then stopping on the side of the road somewhere where it's really cool, watching a waterfall or something, having a cold beer, your favorite roast beef sandwich. There's something about taking that 60s style picnic out of the back of the car thing, right? So love road trips, love doing it. My wife always yells at me when I say, let's drive to New York. Her mom lives there. We have to go a couple times a year. And she tries to get me to fly most of the time. But every now and then I can sneak in a road trip with her and she'll put up with me for a couple days in the road. So
that's cool. So my big road trip today is Top Gun movie night.
Woo! What's up, Chappie?
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, how you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. It's been a year almost, huh?
I know it.
Yeah,
It's great times. Yeah.
I've been all over this thing, man. I've been going crazy trying to keep it happening.
Yeah. Well, I was hearing about your road trips. I'm going, wow, I'm settled. I just don't like living out of a suitcase,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my wife and I are about to change that because we are selling our house. As a matter of fact, we just put the deposit down and they're just breaking the ground for the foundation of a brand new townhome we're having built close to where she works. Okay. So we'll be selling the house here, which is like 4,000 square feet, where my kids were all raised and went to school and had all their stuff. And we're moving into 1,800 square feet. So we're downsizing half, less than half there. And then in a few years when she retires, we're going nomad. So Paul, we're going to be like living out of a couple of big suitcases and one trunk. And we're going to be road tripping all over Europe. We're going to go and stay in southern Portugal and then spend all of our weeks and time, because we'll be retired, just doing all of Europe, all of the Mediterranean, the Middle East, all the Northern Africa stuff. I mean, Sardinia and Tunisia and all that stuff in there. So I'll be definitely coming on here telling you all about the road trip and stuff from out in Europe when we get there.
Oh, whoops, we lost him. Oh, sorry about that.
I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let me kind of cover what's going on today. So I actually live here in Orange County. So I got about the 2.5 hours heading up to San Diego. and staying at the Marriott. So very excited about that. And also going to be doing some hidden gem research. As you know, with my agency, I always like to find some hidden gems. There's a couple rooftop bars I'm going to check out, and that's actually going to be
Harbor and Sky is just
yeah.
wonderful. I love that place.
Well, what's it called?
Harbor and Sky. It's
Okay.
right across from the Brigantine. Well, almost right there, boardwalk by the International.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
I mean, it is just a beautiful view.
Saturday is National Wine Day, so another reason to celebrate the calendar. But let's talk about what's happening tonight, Chappie.
Oh, Top Gun Maverick night. So yeah, 2 large screens. Doors open right around 5:45, 6 o'clock. Expecting about 1,900 people. Gosh, it's going to be DJ dancing, of course, concession stands, adult beverages. California Top Gun Maverick, with Arizona Iceman, and we now have a Rooster look-alike. So got those 3 guys. There's going to be a table of panelists from Top Gun, various instructors, people involved in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Skip Voodoo is bringing his memorabilia. So it's just going to be an awesome night. And of course, the movie. And you can't beat the atmosphere on the flight deck. It's just, If you're a Top Gun fan, this is the place to be.
And we know who won't be there.
Yeah. Thanks. Rub it in a little more. I got some sand in my eyeball here. Could you shove it in there a little harder?
We tried last year and that didn't happen. So
we'll get there. I promise you, we will get there.
Good.
No
definitely. Yeah, and you have to purchase your tickets a month prior. So in April, they go to sale for 1 day. You literally have to keep on refreshing your computer. I actually was out of the country for National Bucket List Day. I was in Cancun, and one of my travel agents hit that button. There we go. And so there's 5 of us coming out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a couple other Top Gun fans that live there locally that are going to be coming out as well. So let's talk about Aviation Maintenance Technician Day. How important are the maintainers to our aviation industry?
I'm going to let Chappie start on that because I was the one that was doing the maintaining. So you go first, Chappie.
Well, I was the one that was praying for you guys as you were maintaining those crews. So as you know, on the Midway, we have got probably 33 static displays of aircraft, and our air wing maintains them all the time just to keep, because you're in a salt air environment and the corrosion. So we want to keep them still in pristine condition. And, the Tomcat is they just finished doing probably 8 months of repair and on that. But for the day-to-day operation, those kids in the brown shirts, I mean, they are just awesome.
Yes.
And your air intermediate department, those guys, keeping all the aviation gear, the navigation, the radio equipment maintained. Because when we put one of our skilled pilots in one of those, $50 million airplanes, they need to have, the best of the best. And to see the crews. Not that I experienced it because, I was Civil Air Patrol, U.S. Air Force Auxiliary. So we had a maintenance crew, but we had the little Cessna 182s. And so for our wing maintenance program, the guys took care of that and also the FOBs. But the maintenance that is needed to keep those birds in the air, awesome stuff. And awesome people.
Once again, every show, she does this to me every single show, Chappie, right?
Oh,
every single show, she has to show us the girls. I'm like, come on, Cindy.
In Thrust We Trust. Come on, you don't.
And she just randomly did it while you're talking, right? Come on.
Anyway, I got my flight suit on, so I could fit into it finally again.
Oh my!
Big shout out to Amazon for that T-shirt.
So you were a maintenance guy.
Yeah, so that's perfect. I fit right in here. I was aviation electronics on Hueys and Cobras. So, those were from the 60s and some of them from the 50s even. and our job was to keep them flying. And every single wire and every single light bulb and every single radio, everything in there that had electricity in it was my responsibility.
Yeah.
When I went into the Corps in the 80s, they had one aviation electronics guy knew every system on the whole bird.
Whoa.
When I looked at going in the Army prior, they were so over specialized. It was like 9 guys to take care of one helicopter for electronics. And I thought, that's ridiculous. I want to learn it all. I'm a troubleshooter. So it was a perfect fit for me to go in the Corps and work on such a sophisticated machine that I was able to troubleshoot these systems that were, multi-million-dollar anti-aircraft, friendly fire, the rocket systems, the TOW missile system, all of that stuff was under my, purveyance. I had to take care of and keep them working. So, running the Jennies and toting those birds around, shoving them in the hangar when bad weather was coming, and just, honestly, just learning how to do safety wire to make sure cannon plugs didn't come undone. That could send a bird right to the ground. If you have you got a cannon plug that's got 18 or 30 different connectors of wires running through a bulkhead on the ship. So you had the cannon plug coming in with all the wires from this side, and you had a metal bulkhead on the aircraft, and then you had to have a cannon plug on the other side. You couldn't just have the wires running through a hole in the metal, right? And those cannon plugs, every one of those had to be lined up perfectly. And then you use this thing called safety wiring, where it wouldn't let the plug turn once it was locked down. You had to wire it up. And just that simple step of understanding how important your task was to the safety of other people's lives. And then the feeling of not obligation, but honor, right? That I'm the one who gets to make sure these guys are coming home safe. I don't think we have enough of that anymore, but that's where I was coming from 30 years ago when I was doing it. It was like, it's such an honor to be trusted to do this, because this plane is going to carry 2 guys in a Cobra or 8 guys in a Huey, and their lives are all at stake. Every one of their lives is at stake every time I go in there and work on that plane. So it was, to me, it was one of the ultimate honors and the ultimate responsibilities. And I took every step of it as if it was life or death, because it was,
and you're talking about that trust and honor. My grandnephew, he's just returning from a cruise with they were home ported in Yokosuka, Japan, Ronald Reagan. And he went from an Orty to a plane captain. And the Air Force tradition and also the Navy tradition, the pilot's names are on the canopy, but on the gear, where the doors are flat, they've got the
Oh,
come on back, internet.
We got to freeze.
Start back again with you had the pilot's name, and then you started going. We lost you.
Yeah, on the landing gear, on the doors of left, they put the captain's name, the plane captain's. So Jonathan's name is underneath there in his home city. So I mean, there's such a trust between the two of them.
Right. Yeah, and if you just realize that that's the level of the obligation of what you're doing, it really changes the game. Just doing preventative maintenance, like you were saying, on your static ships, everything, every rivet we had to check, every battery, there's no corrosion, everything had to be tested and checked and rechecked, and then somebody checked you're checking, so when people get on an airplane, they don't realize today how much goes into inspecting those things and making sure that they're going to be perfect. Because when you do hear something like a door got sucked off of a 747 or whatever, it's just, that's such an anomaly. There's something that catastrophically failed there, because there's no way that just got whoops. Nobody do it, just get missed. So people need to understand that in the aircraft world and the flight world, we are so anally retentive about every single bolt and every single wire, because people die if you're not, right?
Well, you're talking about the aviators. They've got the NETOPS manual. Right. And your engineering. I've seen some of those manuals in our AMD shop that we have open. I mean, crazy. I mean, the knowledge, but again, the dedication, and I've got a job to do, because if I don't do my job, they can't do theirs. And also, their life depends upon how well I did mine.
Right. And it may be the other way around. The enemy may be attacking your position, and that helicopter may be the guy that stops them from getting you, So it's a mutual need there. We both mutually need each other. And so I always took it as a high level of honor and a high level of trust that was being placed upon me. And I've always loved being out there. I loved being on the flight line. I loved being around those machines. We had a big thing where we had some anti-aircraft, super top secret stuff on the helicopters. And anytime I got to be the guy that went out there and had to retrieve one of the devices or, secure it, put it away, these are like $5 million pieces of equipment. You're just, popping off and throwing down to your buddy, but it really, to me, it embodied everything about what it was to be a Marine and what it was to be responsible for those planes and it's carried through the rest of my life. I carry myself a certain way now because of the honor and the level of respect and the level of trust that was placed upon me when I was a Marine. And I understand that internally now, my value level, because of how I was trusted, that's driven me my whole life.
So, Robin, I'm going to ask you a question. I understand from what I've heard, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I know that like in the other branches, the pilots have got their, HUD helmets and all that kind of stuff. But in the Marines, the Marine pilots have the camouflage because they identify with their ground support and the guys that make this happen. So again, that identity of, we're in this together.
Right.
So is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. 100% correct. And always, we're not just a team. We are the bird. We are, that's our baby. That belongs to us, and everybody that's involved with it is responsible for it, takes ownership of it, and has this level of relationship, like you're saying, where they're not any better than any of us. One of the things about them being in the Air Wing in the Marine Corps was never got harassed about your hair being a little bit too long. Never got bitched at for your trousers not being bloused, right? We never got, because they're thinking that they don't want to mess with us. We're the guys that keep them alive, but we would never do anything, right? But that level of familiarity, it wasn't allowed to allow us to be slackers, but it was allowed to show a level of trust and respect to each other. I did have a major come up to me every now and then, put his arm around me and go, that hair's a little bit out of regulation there, isn't it, Stern? And then he'd slide me a 10 spot and go, here, go get it cut. Like being like dad, like I'm going to make sure you look good if you're working on my helicopter. Right. So that kind of relationship. Yes.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I think is fun is all the stuff that we have on the ship. When you go through the CAG, the air wing area, you've got your budget department, you got the ordy, the red shirt guys making sure the weapons are. But in the big dog, the maintenance department, there's a sign that says, "We fix them, you fly them."
Oh,
that's it.
Yep. We fix them, you fly them.
Yep.
So where is that? So I can do a video about maintenance.
That is on the O2 level.
O2 level?
Yeah, on the forward loop. As you go through the squadron commander rooms, you got a couple of radio rooms, you go to the helo room, and then you hit, the CAG loop.
Yep.
Okay.
So you see the budget department, the order department, and then the maintenance department.
Wow. Okay. So we have a few more minutes. Anything you want to touch on for Aviation Maintenance Technician Day or Road Trip Day?
Road trip. My big trip is I'm heading south about 3:00 to be on the ship.
The whole 40 minutes?
Yeah. Be there to greet everyone. Oh, and on another note, tomorrow morning, right after the grand opening, the new exhibit. And I know that this is not aviation maintenance, but that airport cannot run without the engineers. And we have a brand new engineering department. The engineering experience. So you'll see, how that little one drop of seawater gets turned into fresh water to become steam to run the ship, so that air wing can do their job. Right. So, giving some tribute to the snipes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well,
You
let's
know,
talk about Sunday. We got the pilots. Let's talk about what's happening there. And you know who's going to be there.
Well, I don't know exactly who. I'm not part of that process, but I do know that on as soon as the doors open at 10 o'clock through 4 o'clock at various aircraft, because we just don't do this in house. We reach out to the Navy aviation community, and so you'll have pilots by each of our aircraft, and they'll be talking about their experiences. So from you got Vern Jumper that's going to talk about the F9 Panther. I know that because
Oh, yeah.
I've talked with Mark about that. But you got the guys, Jambo is going to be at the Tomcat, the F-14.
Yeah.
So you're going to have all sorts of people talking about their experiences. I'm sure Pat Madison's probably going to be in front of the E2. And I know that we can't do anything without Pence Parsons. He is like the king in the E2 community, so he'll be in front of the E2. So it just Dave Kuntz will be out in front of one of the helos because he was a Navy aviator, a helo pilot, and of course the Cobra. We have got the Seawolf designation on the Cobra that's up there, the Huey, because it was a major tool in the Vietnam War.
Wow.
Right.
So how you like us now, Stern?
How do I like who
You're
now?
not missing on one day. You're missing on 2 amazing days.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And definitely next year or the year after, whatever works for your schedule.
I would say that I'm experiencing FOMO, but because I missed it last year, I've already gone past FOMO and I'm into FEME. Have y'all heard the FEME? You know what FEME stands for? So FOMO is fear of missing out.
Yes.
FEME is F, I missed it. Well, I'm going to start working on the FOMO for next year now because I've got FEME from last year and this year since I'm not making it. So,
well, Robin, that I owe you a tour.
I do, believe me, I absolutely do, sir. I'm ready as soon as I can make my time and get there. I'm looking forward to it, Chappie.
So before we log off, one more important date is the 19th of August is Aviation Week. And it's kind of funny that November is Aviation History Month, but I'm going to have, perhaps I may have Jerome on there. Yeah. So I'm going to have his partner on there. So we'll see if Jerome is available. And yeah, we have various aviators coming on. The Leakster. Yep. Gerald will be on. Rob Todd will be on. So we'll get you those. Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys want to come on, we can have a whole slew of you guys on that week, either the 19th or during that week at some point.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. Yes. And a couple of days ago, I actually had Dick, who's one of the directors with Oshkosh. And that's another thing that Robin and I should do.
Yep.
If you want to join us, Chappie, at one time.
That is on my bucket list.
It's the largest in the world, actually. I thought it was just the United States, but he said it's the largest in the world. So I'm going to go next year for my 60th. And then I'm going to go over to Seafair after that. So I'm going to do a double aviation 60th birthday. Yeah. Have you been to the Seafair in Seattle, Paul?
Nope. I don't get to travel a lot. I'm just a homebody.
This is a homebody. That's right.
I mean, I live in San Diego, after all these years of wanting to live here. Yeah. And it's a vacation destination city. So, I mean, I'm still exploring this little corner of the world,
It definitely is.
I don't need to leave to enjoy. I got my deck. I can oversee, the Mission Gorge area. It's beautiful.
It's awesome. So one last shout out for that restaurant that you mentioned. So I could actually check that out.
Harbor and Sky.
Harbor Sky.
Harbor and Sky. It's on top of the International. Yeah. It's on top of the International Hotel. Harbor and Sky.
How far from the Marriott is that? Do you know?
Which Marriott are you at?
Over by the marina.
So are you at the Grand?
I'm not sure.
Because everything I do on Harbor is a walking distance, 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Because if you're at the, the Marquis Grand, that's just almost about a block and a half from Kansas City Barbecue.
Oh yeah. We're actually doing that Sunday.
Yeah.
You can't go to San Diego and the Midway without going to Kansas City barbecue. So.
Well, that's where I'm going to be having lunch with some friends on Sunday at noon.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very good.
Cool.
Maybe we'll see you around there. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out. Robin Stern, you could go ahead and shout out on any website you want, or you can even promote your book if you want.
You know, I just want to shout out Memorial Day weekend. I've had a couple of opportunities in the last few days to have some conversations with some people, and I don't know, Cindy, did I tell you I went through a little bit of a health issue?
You did, because I was inviting you to the Top Gun event. Yeah, when you're going.
Yeah. So I'm doing some workouts now to try and help get me back on track. And there's a group of nurses and so forth in the area where I go, and they were saying to everybody yesterday, "Happy Memorial Day, Happy Memorial Day." And
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, and that's I tried to get their attention, and I finally got everybody to stop. And I said, just as a maybe a little bit of advice from a veteran.
Yes.
And somebody who's lost friends and family in military activities, that it's not a happy day, but it is a day to reflect and to remember and to be grateful. I said, so, to say, have a reflective, grateful, or gratitude-filled Memorial Day. Go do something nice, say something nice, and be appreciative of somebody who served or somebody who lost a family member during their service. So it's not Happy Memorial Day. It's memorable Memorial Day to you. Safe and reflective Memorial Day to you, right? But take the time to go ahead and put some moments and some thought into who in your family has served, who do you know, what neighbor, and just a short note that says, hey, thanks, right? I have a friend that's a combat Vietnam vet, and he makes up the P30. I'm forgetting now, Chappie. What are they called? The can opener? P39s? P39.
Yeah, I think so.
The P39s. And they're the little metal hook thing that you use to open your C-ration cameras. Hey, you're going crazy there, Cindy.
Some issue with my
that was pretty
my
cool.
computer. I don't know. Sorry about that.
And he makes them up, and then he gets a little sticker put on that says "Welcome Home." He buys them by the thousands, and then he gives them out, and we carry them around in our pockets. And anytime we see a Vietnam vet, and it's just amazing to be able to walk up to them, hand them one of them, and just say, "Hey, thanks for what you did, and welcome home," because they didn't get a lot of that when they came home, right? And so that's like my Memorial Day every day when I see somebody, and the looks on their faces when they feel that genuine love and appreciation, respect from somebody, it's changing their lives, it's changing their world. So if you can get an opportunity, specifically this weekend, to just take that second, get out of your comfort zone. When you see that vet and you're going into Home Depot to get something, or you're walking into a restaurant, hold the door, let them go in front of you and just say thanks. Just say thanks, right? You don't know what they've been through. They wear
what friends they've lost.
Right. And they wear it. They're stoic, and they don't share it a whole lot. Most military guys aren't willing to even be, even share it, much less be transparent or vulnerable about it. So to just get somebody to say thank you, and and I'm sorry, that's one of the things I always say to the Vietnam vets. I'm like, I'm sorry the crap you had to put up with, after serving your country and doing what you thought you were called to do. So shout outs being to every veteran that possibly hears this. Thank you. Welcome home. And we respect you, and we honor you, and we appreciate you. I was at a luncheon yesterday for one of our local business organizations, and I sponsored the veterans table. How awesome was it? An honor for me and my organization to sponsor a whole table for 8 veterans. And they put that table right at the front, right up by the stage, right in the middle for everybody to be showcased, right? I had a 99-year-old World War II vet sitting next to me. My boy brought himself in, sat himself down, cut his own food, fed himself. And I was thinking, I want to grow up and be just like Clyde, because he was killing it yesterday. So be grateful, go out of your way a little bit, get out of your comfort zone a tiny bit. I was at Home Depot the other day, and this old guy was Marine Corps tag, and he was trying to get this big box out of something and put it in. And I was driving by, and I stopped my car. I got out, and I said, here, let me help you. And another young man had come walking up, and he's like, we were all Marines. The 3 of us were standing there. It just happened to happen. And I know every civilian and every person walking by thought, damn, that's why they like being Marines.
Yes.
That's the camaraderie. That's the he's got my back. That's the we're
Mhm.
always Marines and we're always going to take care of each other. Respect that happens. And I think that went a long way for everybody in that parking lot that day that
Yes.
saw that. So that's my shout out. Thank a vet. Do something, go out of your way, get out of your comfort zone, and be awesome to the people out there, because we don't have any idea what they went through to get to where they are now.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Chappie?
Well, the shout out would be, to the USS Midway Museum. Even though we've got the Top Gun movie night, with Maverick, and then on Sunday, meet the aviators. It's all part of the Legacy Week, and we conclude Legacy Week. We've got in the hangar bay. There's a remembrance wall. There's photos of those who have died in action that people are submitting their family members and friends. So we have a memorial wall at 9:00 on Monday morning. We're having our memorial service where there's a wreath laying. We've got the patriotic music going, the band, special speakers, and we're honoring those that gave the ultimate that we can enjoy our freedom. So that's what this is all leading up to. So it's not the event tonight that's the kicker. It's what's happening on Monday when we pay honor. And as Robin was saying, the reflection and the remembrance. There's nothing happy about Memorial Day. I've got on that wall in the hangar bay, I've got 4 photos of my friends from high school that never returned from Vietnam, a young man that was one of my Civil Air Patrol cadets that died in a training accident, one of my mentors, even though he lived to an old age, but a Marine. He as 19 years of age, he's at the Chosin Reservoir, 2 Purple Hearts in 3 days. So even though he did not die in action, I have him honored on that wall because of the leadership that I learned from him, just life skills that I learned from him. So it is indeed a reflective day. It's not a happy day because we honor those that I would not be here today had it not been for them.
Wow.
And so, and then Veterans Day, that's the day we thank everyone for their service as they return back. And as Robin was saying, it's great to thank those vets, but we need to remember the vets that did not come home.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And we need to know the difference between the two.
Yes.
Yeah, I said on a call yesterday. I said, it's only 2 people in the whole world that would sacrifice their life for you, and that is Jesus Christ and a veteran who died in the service of his country.
Yes,
that's the only, and they did it for you. Have no doubt.
They laid down their lives for us.
Yeah, it was voluntary for most of us, and they, the ones that died, they did it for us. So we need to remember that and be completely respectful of that, because that's what it is. But don't get mad at people that say happy Memorial Day. They're just trying. They just don't understand. So maybe we'll go on a little bit of a mission, Chappie. And
well, the thing is, only 1% of our nation actually served.
Right.
So 99% of us are clueless.
They don't understand it. I was just watching a video this morning about the Crucible and some of the cadence calls and stuff at Paris Island, and I'm just sitting here, tears streaming down my face, not necessarily because I was there. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but because my son is there right now.
Oh, wow.
Nobody will understand that feeling until they have a child who voluntarily says, I will die for my country.
Yeah, who puts his feet in those yellow shoes.
He did, sir. He did. Yes, sir. And I'll tell you what, he's 2 weeks from today, I pick him up. He graduates. We're stupid excited about going and being there. And I think just understanding that, and feeling that and being human about it. I think that's a big thing we're missing these days, is just, we're all human. It's okay to be human, right? Just go on and allow it. Don't be so hard and stoic and I can't show any vulnerability. That's bullshit, guys. We're all vulnerable, and relationships come from being transparent and open and honest with each other. And that's what makes life worth living. So go out there and change the world, as I tell everybody. I love you all. Go out there and change the world, So that's my 2 cents, Cindy. I'm dropping the mic. There it is.
All right, so we have to close out because I still haven't even cracked it. But one thing I want to add, and I actually see this happen a lot, and when there's a veteran, let's say at a grocery store or even like on a cruise ship, when I cruise, I'm literally the only one that says thank you for your service, or thank you for coming home. If you see that hat, please say thank you for your service. There's so many people that don't do it. I mean, I'm shocked that people don't do that. So that's my PSA for today.
Yeah, we're lucky in Georgia. In Georgia, they love veterans in Georgia. It's probably the most patriotic, military-friendly state I've ever lived in. And you can't. I'll go, hey, I'm picking up the check for those police officers over there, or those two old vets, and the waitress was like, "Sorry, somebody else already got it." Like you can't even buy their lunch for them because as soon as they walk in, somebody's like, "I'm buying their lunch," So
that's so awesome.
It's even like our tags on our cars. I have a tag that says veteran. It has a Marine Corps symbol on it, and they won't let me pay for my registration anymore. Once you're certified as a veteran with the state, your registration's free. You walk in, you just give them you have to get it inspected. We have inspections still. You get inspected and you walk in and they give you the sticker. It's no cost. So that level of honor and respect and decency is huge in Georgia. But the rest of the country, step it up, folks. Let's go.
San Diego's pretty good, though.
Are they?
Yeah.
San Diego's a great military town. So, I mean, when you got the Marines up in Oceanside and you've got the SEALs down in Coronado, you've got 32nd Street with the Navy, the South. I mean,
How far away is Monterey from you guys?
Oh, Monterey. You're looking about, from San
450.
Diego, probably about an 8 to 9 hour drive.
Okay, way up north, right?
Way up north,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my son will be after he graduates. He's going to
language school.
Defense Language Institute. Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful base up there, though.
I can't wait to go visit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be in California for that. I promise you.
I've been on the Monterey base before, and it's gorgeous.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I'm excited for him. Good deal. All right, folks.
Very good.
I'll get out of here.
Hey, thank you so much, Robin. Great seeing you.
You too.
All right. I'll see you tonight.
Cindy,
Take care,
see
Cindy.
you about about 6:15.
I'll be there at 4.
Yeah.
1 to 3
line.
hours activates. Y'all take a couple pictures together so you can post them and I can see them.
Oh, we always do. I'll be live. I'll be going live a couple different times.
Okay, cool. I'll try and jump on when you go.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Catch you later.
Bye. So there we go. Celebrate every day. And I am out of here, baby. Woohoo!